Okay. Okay, let's without wasting any time come straight to the point. Yesterday, my dear friends, we did introduction. Today we are doing charging section. There are also a few amendments to be done in charging section. Once we are done with that, we will move to RCM, that is reverse charge mechanism, which though is a part of a charging section, but frankly speaking, I don't consider it. I consider it as a different chapter. I give it due respect to the same. And also the fact that RCM also has a few amendments. So please make sure y'all are keeping all your ears wide open. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me, guys? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. So firstly, my dear friends, charging section, we are doing CGST Act, and that is section 9. Okay, in that we have 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. Again, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. Okay, IGST mein the charging section is section 5. Okay, and right now we are only focusing on CGST. Okay, so when it comes to, my dear friends, 9 subsection 1, concept is very simple. CGST is levied on intra state supply of goods or service except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Okay, at a rate not exceeding 20%, where value shall be determined under section 15 and tax shall be paid by taxable person. Okay, important thing, my dear friends, important thing that needs to be taken into consideration. Who is a taxable person? Taxable person is basically that person who's either registered or liable to register. Register or liable to register under section 22 or 24. 22 is the threshold limit, my dear friends. 10 lakh, 20 lakh, 40 lakh, and 24 is compulsory registration. Absolutely clear. Okay, so that is 9 subsection 1. Okay, CGST on whom? Intrastate supply of goods or service except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Daru at a rate not exceeding 20%. Understand, 20%, and this is just the CGST rate. Okay, mind you, this is just the CGST rate. So the total rate comes out to be CGST 20%, SGST 20%, 40% total. Okay, on a value determined in section 15 at a rate which is taxable at the rate taxable person. Okay, second is 9 subsection 2, my dear friends. There are 5 petroleum products which are outside the purview of GST, and only after the recommendation of GST Council will CG notify it, and only then it will become part of CGST Act. But right now GST Council has refrained from any recommendations like that, and which is why right now these 5 petroleum products are not subject to GST. Which are the 5 petroleum products? Crude से क्या बनता है? Petrol and high speed diesel. And then we have natural gas, better not the poisonous gas which is emitted by you, my dear friends. Okay, and the last is ATF, aviation turbine fuel, on which the actual, yes, correct, aircraft functions. Okay, these 5 products are outside the purview of GST. That is what 9 subsection 2 says. 9 subsection 3, RCM, reverse charge mechanism, where it's the recipient who actually lands up paying the tax. Why? Concept is very simple. Most of the cases, the reason is very simple. Okay, generally I'll tell you how does this function. Okay, just generally how does this function. So for example, if I am a person who's coaching, let's say 10,000 students. So understand, supplier is one, recipients are many. Supplier is one, recipients are many. So government, it will be convenient for the government to actually ask the supplier to pay the tax rather than asking 10,000 recipients to pay tax. Right? So supplier will be charged, supplier will be imposed with the levy of paying GST to government. If he does not pay on time, he will have to pay it with interest and penalty. Second, in RCM also, that is the same reason. Most of the cases, that is the same reason. That in this case, what happens is, recipient is one and suppliers are many. Recipient is one, suppliers are many. So it is convenient from the government's end to rather ask the recipient to pay tax directly to the government rather than from the supplier. Okay, it is convenient for the government to actually ask the recipient to directly pay tax to the government, and which is why most of the cases 9(3) is levied, because it's convenient for the government to collect tax from the recipient, because recipient is just one and suppliers are too many, right? Okay, but as and when we go to RCM, my dear friends, there are different reasons for different cases. We will understand when we get to it. Next, my dear friends, 9 subsection 4. Something that generally people tend to ignore, or possibly the reason they ignore is because they don't understand. right? Fair enough. Okay, all the 8 people out there, are you able to understand? Please give me a yes sir. YouTube live. Prachmuthu, yeah. Do we have Kavita? Do we have Sneha? Do we have Bala? Purvi, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Sorry, I'm glad all the people out there who were here yesterday are being seen here. Fantastic. Just show up and we will be done. Okay, that is my guarantee. Okay guys, okay, fantastic. Keep replying guys. Kya baat hai Manish Saini, kya baat hai? Keep replying guys. The more you reply, the more I will understand that what are you finally gauging. Okay. 9 subsection 4, understand, and 9 subsection 4 understand has a certain history, my dear friends. Okay, so my dear friends, 9 subsection 4, let me just tell you something. Okay, initially 9 subsection 4 was levied to any and every goods or service which is supplied by unregistered supplier to a registered recipient. So if supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered, recipient will pay tax as per RCM. Okay, and this was applicable to any goods or service. The only thing you have to see is supplier unregistered, recipient registered, recipient will pay tax. Simple. Okay, simple. But my dear friends, understand, in this case the registered recipient, okay, was getting suffocated with the amount of compliances that he had to do. Sir, why sir? Very simple, I'll tell you. So what happened is, understand, for example, if I am running a business, 1000 crore business, right? Let's say, okay, I ask my peon, okay, and he gets sandwich from the sandwich wala down, from the hawker. That sandwich is for what, 30 rupees? Let's say 50 rupees. Okay, restaurant service, 5% GST. Do you realize he is the supplier who's unregistered? I am the recipient who's registered. 30 rupees, 5% GST, 1.5 rupees. Do you realize that this is the minute amount of calculation I will have to start recording in my books of accounts? So even in this petty transaction, I will have to record it because I will have to now pay tax as per RCM. And such kind of transactions are numerous in nature. My CA and my accountants both will get mad. They will go insane. What the hell is happening here? So many transactions RCM, which is why finally government said, okay, we are not going ahead with this. So government finally said, okay, in this case, neither the supplier nor the recipient, no one is going to pay tax. We are going to defer 9 subsection 4. Fair enough? Yes. Then they finally came up with identifying notified persons. They said, okay, we will levy it, okay, but only on notified persons. And one such case was the construction industry. Okay, so till now they have notified the construction industry, basically the builders. And if you will see, you will find it, okay, that the way they've carved it out is just beautiful. Okay, now understand one thing. So they said, okay, listen, if you are a builder, okay, the flats that you supply, okay, which ones, which are sold before CC or OC, because if you land up selling flats where you're getting the entire consideration after CC or OC, understand, the flat is already made, so you are not selling any goods or service, you are actually selling an immovable property. On that, stamp duty will come, GST will not come. GST will come only on under construction projects, okay, before CC or OC. So on that, okay, GST will be levied at the rate 5%. So your output tax rate is 5%, but understand, my dear friends, okay, there is no ITC. There is no ITC. So no input capital goods, input service, input service capital goods. You will get ITC of nothing, absolutely nothing. Got it? Output tax rate is at 5%, but ITC you will not get anything. Thenga. Okay, and that actually makes sense, because understand, when your output tax rate is so small, so minute, you cannot allow that guy ITC, because in that case, if you land up allowing him ITC. In most of the cases, his ITC will be more than output tax. His ITC will be more than output tax. So his receivable will be more than payable. His receivable will be more than payable. Are you getting it? Yes. So always understand, his net payable will be 0 because he has a lot of ITC to pay off his output tax. So government said, listen, I am not giving any ITC. Simple. Now understand. Okay. If there is no ITC, obviously you will add it to the cost. So if I am not getting ITC of 1,10,000, where 10,000 is the GST, right? Obviously, because if the supplier is a registered person, recipient is a builder, correct? And he charges GST, is builder going to get ITC? No. Because he is making residential product which is subject to 5%, right? So do you realize, obviously he will have to add it to the cost. And if he will add it to the cost, that will increase the cost of the project and thereby the value of the flat, thereby making it, difficult for the builder to sell it to the buyer. What did he start doing? He started approaching unregistered persons. He started buying, cement, bricks, architecture service, that service, this goods, that goods from whom? Unregistered person. Why? Because do unregistered person, charge GST? No, because that person, that supplier is himself unregistered. So is he registered under GST law? Nako baba nako. So will he charge GST? Nako baba nako. So is there any question of ITC at the end of the builder? Nako baba nako. No. Right? So this is how they started reducing that cost. They started purchasing, in a huge amount from unregistered suppliers. Now, government saw that. What did they do next? Very simple. They put a mandate. They put a condition saying that, listen, Mr. Builder, you can now purchase only 20%. Whatever purchases you are making, for example, you are making purchases of 100 rupees. Out of that, you can only purchase 20 rupees ka from unregistered suppliers. 80 rupees ka to minimum you have to buy it from registered suppliers. Got it? Yes. So minimum 18%. If you buy more, I am happy. Because that registered supplier will charge GST and recipient will not get any ITC, right? And that is what government wants, right? So minimum you have to purchase 80 from registered. 20 I am allowing you to buy it from unregistered persons. So in 20, I'm okay. If you are saving your cost, because obviously in that 20 rupees, supplier is unregistered, he won't charge GST. Recipient, there is no question of availing or not availing ITC because there is no outflow of input tax. Are you all getting with me? I will getting it, guys. Rajvi, Manish, I will getting it. Sorry, I will getting it, my dear friends. Yes. So now, what did they start doing? Right? They started now using it even more. I'm just tweaking it. Just a second. 80-20. Registered, unregistered, right? Of this, they made the best of their use. They said, 20% I can actually purchase it from unregistered person, where the opposite person is not charging GST to me. Then let me do one thing. Let me rather purchase cement and a lot of capital goods that are actually subject to 28% GST. So since that 20%, let's say 100 rupees I purchase, out of that 20 rupees ka, I can purchase it from unregistered supplier. Let me make sure that the purchase that I'm doing for the 20 rupees, I rather purchase it from unregistered supplier with respect to cement and capital goods. cement and capital goods, which were majoritarily subject to 28%, 18% huge big rates. So that big rate, big bachat, big rate, big bachat, big savings. Gotcha, right? So government did not like this. Government again did not like this. Government said, what the hell? Okay, I am putting one more condition. Condition number 2 said that, listen, when you are purchasing cement or CG, you will always have to purchase it from a registered person. Always. You always have to purchase from a registered person. Sir, but what if I purchase it from unregistered person? Sir, what if I purchase this cement and CG from unregistered person, right? Then in that case, if supplier is unregistered, you are purchasing cement or CG. Okay, and you are a registered person, understand? And who are you? You are a builder, right? Then in that case, government says, supplier hai unregistered, recipient is registered, supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered, 9(4) applies, 9(4) applies, 9(4) applies. Tax will be payable as per RCM. Got it? So first you pay tax as per RCM, and उसका आपको नहीं मिलेगा क्या ITC. You will also not get ITC for the same. Are you getting it, my dear friends? Okay, so you pay GST as per RCM, and obviously you are not getting any ITC on this, so it will clearly become part of your cost. Okay, and understand. Let's say, for example, you are a builder, correct? And how much are you supposed to? Let's say 100 का purchase है. Okay, 80 registered, 20 unregistered, correct? So let's say, for example, if you land up purchasing 50, only 50 from registered, okay? 30 from unregistered, 30 from unregistered, right? Then in that case, understand one thing. Okay, I'm so sorry, this will be 20. I'm so sorry. Okay, here the supplier is only charging GST to recipient, no ITC. Here what will happen is, understand, supplier is unregistered. Recipient is registered. Okay, in this, tax will be payable as per RCM under section 9(4). And here this much is allowed, 20% is allowed, 20% is allowed, right? So here, though it is unregistered, though this is registered, okay, no GST, right? The reason I targeted this, my dear friends, is because of a very simple reason. The minimum I had to purchase was 80, but the minimum that I purchased is 50, right? So 80 minus 50, 30. Okay, this has to be payable as per RCM. So you check the registered person wala part. If he is already, purchased 80 from who? Registered, end of decision. 20, don't do anything with it. But make sure in that 20, there is no cement, there is no CG. Got it? Second part. Let's say, okay, if it is, as I give you the example, let's say he has purchased 50 from registered, 30 from unregistered, 20 from unregistered. So 50 registered, 50 unregistered, 50 registered, 50 unregistered. So 50 registered, supplier must have only charged him GST. Fair enough, no effect on that. Second, he must have purchased of 80. He should have purchased for 80, but he has only purchased for 50. Remaining balance 30, payable as per RCM. Do you realize here again government has made sure that it becomes recipient's part of cost. So 50 supplier charge GST, recipient no ITC. And the remaining 30 which he was supposed to purchase it from registered supplier but he did not purchase it from registered supplier, he purchases from unregistered person. Government said RCM for 30, you pay GST now to government because you are a registered person and you will not even get the ITC. So again the cost is on that 80. 50 FCM, 30 RCM, and again on 20 no effect. Government wants that at least on 80% of your purchases there is no ITC. It becomes a part of your cost. Now if you purchase it from registered, supplier will charge. If you have not purchased it from registered यानी unregistered से खरीदा है तो simple RCM. Because supplier might not be registered, you are bloody registered, so I will make sure that you pay taxes per RCM and I will not give you ITC. And the 20% leverage that I am giving, I am not even allowing you to purchase cement and capital goods, because cement and capital goods you will always purchase it from registered person. In case you purchase cement or capital goods from unregistered, सीधा RCM. So if that 20 rupees leverage that you have, which I'm talking about here, it is assumed that it is neither CG nor cement. It is something other than this. It is something other than this. Are you getting it, my dear friends? Purvi, Bhutra, Manish, Rajvi, Sorin, Prachamuthu. Are you all able to get this important explanation? This was damn important. It can come in the exam and you should be damn clear about it, guys. Are you able to understand? Smith, Avni, वीडियो तो ऑन करो तुम लोग यार, वरना फिर YouTube पे ही आ जाओ और क्या. Yeah, Purvi, yeah. Will the pay on GST on 20 and get ITC or beta? Sorry, what did I say? He will not ever get ITC. Why will he pay GST on 20? 20 pay there is absolutely nothing. He will not pay at all. Because supplier is unregistered, no? RCM will get triggered only when he has not met the minimum purchase amount. So minimum purchase amount is 80, correct? But instead of 80 he has purchased 50. So 30 का gap आ गया ना? You focus on 80 should be from registered. If not, then the standard should have been 80. Okay, let's say for example, now you only tell me, chalo guys, sorry, you only tell me, okay? Purchase is of 100 rupees, right? But 30 is from registered person, 70 is from unregistered person. Chal sorry, bata, what will happen now? Sorry now, now you give me fatavat se, you tell me what will happen now. Fatavat se, we are losing on time. We will bifurcate it, absolutely correct. Okay, and that will be simple. I should have purchased 80 here, but I have purchased only 30. So how much has happened? Very simple. 80 minus 30, 50 RCM. And here 20. Okay, is absolutely no GST. Nothing doing. Got it? And here, though you are paying it as per RCM, there is absolutely no ITC. Here, no ITC here. Riya Burma, if we buy cement CG from an unregistered person, from that 20% only, CG cement value will be taxable and not the entire 20%. right? Obviously, for example, in that 20%, let's say for example, understand 100 है तो 80 is from registered person, 20 is from unregistered person, correct? But understand, out of this 20, let's say 10 is cement and 10 is bricks. So cement पे RCM लग जाएगा, पर इसमें there will be no GST. Is that making sense, guys? Is that making sense? Are you able to understand this? Right? It is fully amended. वासु पूरा नवंबर 23 तक एक अमेंडमेंट उसमें कवर्ड है बेटा. There is all the amendments out there. Okay, should I proceed everyone? Purvi, Rajvi, Manish, Sorin, Riya Bhamra, Vasu, should I go ahead? Okay, done. By the way, you can always refer to these examples. I am going to share these notes also on the Telegram. Okay, that's it, simple. By the way, I have also written the entire explanation of this here. It will help you understand better. ठीक है? Entire explanation is written out here. Entire explanation. Okay? So in case you want to study in detail, you can always use it. Okay? Otherwise, this is enough. Right? Subject to condition, there is no ITC, at least 80% should be purchased from registered person. If it is below 80, then to the extent of difference, it will be payable as per RCM. But just make sure that cement CG to be purchased from registered person only. Okay, if it is purchased from unregistered person, तो लग जाएगा RCM. Is this very clear, my dear friends? Is this very clear? Kushal, Smith, Avni, okay, lovely. Okay, now next, last one. 9 subsection 5, my dear friends. 9 subsection 5, very simple. 9 subsection 5, my dear friends. Okay, that is as per ECO, e-commerce operator. In 9 subsection 5, my dear friends, e-commerce operator pay tax. Okay, there are 3 cases: transportation of passenger service through radio taxi, motorcycle, omnibus, and there are few other vehicles also added recently. Rickshaw and meter taxis have also been added, so remember that. And also buses, जो red bus के through अपन book करते हैं, okay, even that is added, my dear friends. Second is hotel accommodation service and housekeeping service, right? And the recent, okay, addition to this is restaurant service. Understand, hotel is where we stay, restaurant is where we eat. Don't use it interchangeably, especially if you are a Gujarati. Got it? આપણે હોટલમાં જવું છે જમવા. Not correct, my dear friends. Understand, both are different. Okay, one is where you go to sleep, one is where you go to eat. Okay, my dear friends. Transportation of passenger service. Understand, there are 3 people involved. Okay, in case of transportation of passenger service, my dear friends, there are 3 people who are involved. Okay, who are they? Very simple. One is the, okay, very simple, cab driver. Okay, who will give us the transportation of passenger service. The other is, my dear friends, the passenger. And last is Ola. Ola ko bola. Ola ko bola. Now tell me, my dear friends, very simple. Among these 3 people, okay, if for example the fare comes out to be 1000 rupees and GST is 5%, 50 rupees, who is going to pay tax to government? Tell me, who is going to pay tax to the government? Is it the supplier, recipient? By the way, this guy is the supplier, this guy is the recipient. Do you think cab driver will pay? No, beta. If he would have been so padha likha, so educated, he would have not been sitting ahead, he would have been sitting behind. Okay. Second, passenger, they are huge in numbers. If you will ask every passenger to pay GST, then book Ola Uber, they will say, okay, let me do one thing, let me go and walk it through. I can't afford this. So passenger can also not pay. It is the Ola who will actually land up paying. Is that very clear? As for 9 subsection 5. Okay, perfect. Next is, my dear friends, with respect to, okay, hotel accommodation. So there is a tourist, okay, there is a hotel, and then there is MMT, make my trip. Now understand, my dear friends, one thing very clearly. Okay, in this case, hotel can be two types of hotel. One can be something like a Taj hotel, which is a 5-star hotel, right? One suite of that is, okay, there is their Taj Mahal Palace is there in Church Gate, जहाँ पे कसाब आया था, my dear friends. In there, one suite is rupees 10 lakh rupees. 10 lakh rupees, one night only, my dear friends. You will get 10 BHK in Virar Vasai. Here you will only get one night. Absolutely. Okay. In that case, obviously, my dear friends, do you think that 20 lakhs must have got exceeded with respect to Taj Hotel? Yes. And the answer is yes. If this is already registered person under 22 subsection 1, then definitely in that case, you will ask Taj Hotel only to pay tax. Why to go ahead in life? Okay. Understand one thing very clearly, my dear friends. Okay. When we are doing charging section 9.1, it is the supplier on whom the charge of GST is to pay tax. On 9.3, it is the recipient on whom the charge of GST is to pay tax. And 9.5 is when it is the ECO on whom the charge is to pay tax. You will go on 9.5 only when 9.1 and 9.3 is not satisfied. You will go on 9.5 only when 9.1 and 9.3 does not help in resolving the matter. Got it? But here the matter gets resolved in 9.1 itself. Taj Hotel, who is the supplier of hotel accommodation service, if that person is already a registered person, ask him to pay tax. Okay, as per 9 subsection 1. But in case it's not Taj Hotel, let's say the hotel is Hotel Descent from Jab We Met, which you know is what kind of a grey hotel, right? It's a shady hotel. Okay, simple, my dear friends. You will make sure that they don't do any compliances, and it is MMT that actually lands up paying the tax. Is that very clear? As per which section? 9 subsection 5, where you are giving the ECO to pay tax. Same, my dear friends, goes with the help of with respect to housekeeping service. So if, my dear friends, there is a plumber, it is not plumber you gouty person, okay, it is plumber, okay, and let's say then we have, okay, Mrs. Babita ji, okay, who is a housewife, okay, and then we have whom, my dear friends, tell me, Johnny kaun bola maa kasam, nonsense. We have urban glab idiot. Okay, very simple. Okay, now understand. Okay, here this guy is actually giving which service, my dear friends? Which service? Housekeeping service. Now you can't underestimate these housekeepers, my dear friends. You cannot underestimate these housekeepers, because these housekeepers are also sometimes very costly. They do land up, my dear friends, making a lot of money, and which is why, in case the housekeeping person, my dear friends, is a registered person under 22 subsection 1, okay, 9 subsection 1 ke that supplier will only pay tax, but if not, then it is the ECO who will actually pay taxes for 9 subsection 5, period, okay. And the last is, my dear friends, with respect to restaurant service, right? So which is the app that you can think of where you avail restaurant service? Which is that app? Okay, only two, Swiggy and Zomato. Rest all have any which ways, okay, gone bankrupt, right? Absolutely. Now the important thing is, my dear friends, very simple. Okay, in case of restaurant, understand, okay, let's say for example Mr. Foodie orders from one and the only Zomato, okay, from where? Your favorite hotel Bhagwati, okay. Yeah, Shiv Sagar is very famous in Mumbai. So here Shiv Sagar, okay, gives food to Zomato delivers it to Mr. Foodie. Let's say Mr. Foodie in our case is Mr. SS or Soreen or Rajvi, okay. Now this guy pays the money. Now in this case, understand one thing, my dear friends. You will not check the status of supplier. Supplier can be either a registered person or unregistered person, right? So Shiv Sagar can be a registered person. Obviously, it will be registered because its turnover is more than 20 lakhs. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But if Shiv Sagar is supplying through Zomato, Zomato will only pay the tax. Zomato will only pay the tax. Zomato will only pay the tax. Sir, but what about Prasadam, which is an unregistered person? Doesn't matter. Prasadam is unregistered, right? Zomato is registered. So again, who will pay tax? Zomato will only pay tax. So you don't check the supplier status. You just check restaurant service given by ECO. ECO will pay tax. Period. Okay. Now, there is one exception in this. Okay. Remember that. So, for example, understand. Okay, there is there is Zomato, and there is, okay, let's say Rajvi. Okay, and Rajvi has a very bad habit of eating in the midnight. Okay, she says that she is an owl and she likes to study in the night, and in that she keeps on ordering a lot of food from her favorite restaurant, which is, by the way, okay, a restaurant in ITC Grand Maratha called, क्या है उसका नाम? It is some Peshawari, ITC, okay, some Mughlai Peshawari food out there. So now the thing is, this is a hotel. Which hotel? Let's say JW Marriott. And in that there is a restaurant. Okay, and the name of the restaurant is, क्या है name of the restaurant? रखो ना यार कुछ भी. Let's say for example, कुछ अच्छा नाम दो ना यार. I'm not getting it. Let's say Royal. Okay, something like that. Royal Restaurant. Now, the hotel in which this restaurant is situated, this hotel generally has a tariff of more than 7,500 per night, right? So the description is of the hotel. Okay, hotel hai, 5-star hotel. Generally the tariff is more than 7,500 per night, and in that hotel there is a restaurant called the Royal Restaurant, and Royal Restaurant is supplying goods through ECO like Zomato to Mr. Foodie, to Miss Foodie, Rajvi. First, I will able to get this situation. I will able to get this situation, my dear friends. Right? Hotel hai, hotel ke andar there is a restaurant. Right? And this restaurant is a very expensive restaurant. Okay? In this case, government says that in such situations, I will leave the compliance with this expensive restaurant only, and I will ask, okay, the restaurant only to pay tax as per FCM, where the restaurant only will pay the tax. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear? So the only thing that you have to see is, okay, whether the restaurant is inside the hotel or outside the hotel. If it is outside the hotel, does not matter whether the restaurant is registered or not. If it is supplying through Zomato, Zomato will pay tax. Point number 1. Point number 2, check whether that restaurant is inside a hotel or not. If yes, then understand there are two situations. Either that hotel is having a tariff of more than 7,500 or less than. If it is less than, government say, chup re baba, why will you do compliance? Ask Zomato only to do compliance. But if it is more than 7,500, government says, you are bloody expensive, you are shit expensive, and you deserve compliances, so you will only do the compliance. Restaurant, you will pay the tax because you are in a very expensive hotel, and I assume you will also be a very expensive restaurant. Are you getting it, my dear friends? Are you all able to gauge what I'm trying to explain? Kushal, Smith, Avni, give me a raise. Raise your hands if you all understood it. Thumbs up, guys. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Avni, Smith, वहां पे राजवी, पूर्वी, Sorin. Give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Yeah, SS, absolutely correct. Okay. Just read it once again. Okay, guys. See if this is legible to you all. Right? Correct. Okay. Acha, and the time when you declare that ECU will pay the tax, very simple. If it has physical presence in India, ECU will pay tax. No physical presence, representative like employee, agent, branch, subsidiary, something like that will pay tax. And if you don't even have a representative, then in that case, ECU does not have physical presence, nor it has representative. Neither it has physical presence, nor it has representative, and which is why person appointed by ECU will pay the tax. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, lovely. So here we are done with charging section, my dear friends, in a lot of depth, okay, and in a way that you possibly, okay, would love to do on the last day of the exam. I hope there is absolute clarity in what I'm teaching. Yes or yes, my dear friends? And I'm glad, thanks for asking questions. Vasu, Sorin, Ria, that shows that you all are keen in understanding, and a doubt of yours you are easily able to question, and I'm able to answer it, that where you all are actually stuck. So where are you from? Sorin, Ria, Purvi, where are you from? SS, where are you from? Murari, where are you from? Okay. Yeah, it will not have the burden. It is always the hotel who will have the burden. Simple. Just go through that chart. If you will go through that chart, you will easily understand. Okay. So just to wrap it up, 9.5 understand. Just to wrap it up, guys. Just to wrap it up. Okay. In 9.5, transportation of passenger service. Right. Transportation of passenger service and restaurant service operates similarly. How? You will never check the supplier status. You will only remember one thing: ECU will pay the tax. Okay, I'm talking about who? Okay, when I'm talking about these guys, very simple. Okay, when it comes to this and this, they are both one and the same category, same category. Supplier, I don't have to check only. ECU will only pay the tax. Simple, right? But in this, I will check the supplier status. Registered, supplier will pay tax. Unregistered, ECU will pay the tax, right? And there is just a small exception here, that if that restaurant is inside a hotel, inside a 5-star hotel, 7,500 ke upar ka tariff hai, simple, it is the restaurant who will pay the tax. Okay, is that very clear? Perfect, cool. Okay, my dear friends. Okay, fantastic. So now, are you all ready, my dear friends? Are you all ready to wrap up RCM? Should I go ahead with RCM, my dear friends? Should I go ahead with RCM? Do one thing. Just take a 10-minute break. Come by 7:30, right? And in 1 hour, we will finish off RCM also, right? But you will have to be with me, okay? Because I am also going to solve a couple of questions that will help you get supreme clarity. You will never have to read things back again. Okay, it's a pinky promise. Sure. Okay, so we will be back by 7:30. Restaurant service is an amendment, beta, and which is why it's not in the book, because it's a recent amendment. गॉट इट. तो रेस्टोरेंट सर्विस का प्लीज आप लिख देना, so that makes sense. Okay, it is definitely there in the summary book. Summary book is the amended version, so whatever reference you are taking, just take it from the reference of summary book. That is the most amended thing on earth. Okay, chalo. Can you all hear me? Smith, Ami, Kushal? Okay. हाँ, मैंने बोला एक्चुअली, मैंने बोला था. ठीक है, नॉनदलेस आई विल डू इट एनी विच वेज. ओके गाइस, आ जाओ. Okay guys, come back, Rajvi, are you there? Murari, SS, Riya, Sorin, Vasu, come on. Rajvi, come on. Let's do it. Okay. So here we are with, my dear friends, reverse charge mechanism. Reverse charge mechanism, my dear friends, some basics that I would like to teach you before I just go ahead. Okay, I would just like to teach you some basics, very simple, my dear friends. Just the fact that supplier, recipient. Okay, let's say if there are a lot of suppliers and there is just one recipient, tax will be paid by supplier as per FCM. Now how does that function? Very simple. Selling price is, let's say for example 1 lakh. Okay, GST is at the rate, let's say 10%, 10,000, 1,10,000. Recipient will pay to the supplier 1,10,000 and supplier will pay GST 10,000 to government. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Okay, very simple, right? In this case, recipient के pocket से गया 1,10,000, supplier has 1 lakh and government has 10,000. ठीक है? Done, 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 done. Now the other part of the game, where we feel, okay, there are a lot of suppliers but there is just one recipient, so we will ask the recipient to pay tax as per RCM. So here what will happen? Who is supposed to pay tax? Recipient, right? Supplier is not supposed to pay tax, recipient is supposed to pay tax to government. So here selling price will be 1 lakh plus GST. Plus GST? No. Only a statement will arrive which says that GST shall be paid as per RCM. Is that very clear, my dear friends? And it is the recipient who will pay tax to the government. And it is the recipient who will pay tax to the government, right? So if the GST is at the rate 10%, then in that case, recipient will pay to the supplier 1 lakh and it's the recipient who will pay GST 10,000 to government as per RCM. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear? Are you able to understand? Correct. Even in this case, recipient lands up paying 1,10,000, supplier will get 1 lakh and government again gets 10,000. Okay. ये बात अलग है. It is a different note altogether that recipient will also get the ITC for the same, right? Recipient will also get the ITC for the same. So it doesn't matter, since you all are in CFL, I'll just discuss it here and here itself. Doesn't matter, my difference, that here this is the supplier, this is the recipient. So it doesn't matter whether, and let's say for example, let's say GTA service, okay, and this is HUL and this is DMart, correct? So here let's say GST is at the rate 5%, freight charged is 1 lakh, got it? So HUL will pay to GTA 1 lakh, but okay, understand, HUL in this case will pay 5,000 to government as per RCM. तो उसकी जेब से गया है क्या 5,000? तो 5,000 has got out from his own pocket. Got it? And understand, when he sells goods for rupees 10 lakhs plus GST at the rate 10%, 1 lakh. In that case, he charges 11 lakhs to DMart. So your tax is payable as per FCM. He pays 1,10,000 to HUL. Got it? तो ये हो गया यहाँ पे 1 लाख. So if you see from HUL's angle, he has landed up paying 5,000 as input tax, and output tax he has charged 1 lakh rupees, which he has got it from DMart. So 5,000 out, 1 lakh in. 5,000 out, 1 lakh in. He will keep with himself, out of that 1 lakh, he will keep with himself 5,000, and remaining 95,000 he will pay to government, because output tax is 1 lakh, ITC is 5,000, 95,000 cash. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear, my dear friends? Are you all able to gauge what I'm trying to explain? Are you all able to gauge, my dear friends? Yes, 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 yes. Just a second. Are you all able to gauge it? Yes, yes, Akila, MS, are you able to gauge it? Yeah. ठीक है. So doesn't matter whether the recipient pays GST via supplier to government, or this is, by the way, FCM, whether the recipient himself pays tax to government as per RCM. Doesn't matter. The money is going from his pocket. So either he's, either he's tearing a check of 1,10,000 to supplier, supplier keeps with himself 1 lakh, supplier gives 10,000 to government. उसका जेब तो 1,10,000 से ही कटा है. His pocket is getting emptied to the extent of 1,10,000 only. Got it? But when it comes to what? RCM, he will pay 1 lakh to supplier and 10,000 he will pay to government. He again, his pocket is getting emptied by 1,10,000 only. So 10,000 he will get ITC. Simple. Okay. Doesn't matter whether he's paying as per FCM or RCM. Doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Before I go ahead with RCM, there are few ground rules that I would like to establish. Only then will I go ahead. Okay. Fantastic. Ground rule number 1. All the recipients are assumed to have been located in taxable territory, that is in India. Simple. Second, if the conditions that I talk about, if they don't satisfy the conditions of RCM, it will automatically mean, unless and until I specify that FCM will apply. And third is, partnership firm includes LLP. Partnership firm includes LLP. Is that very clear? Perfect. Okay. Next, my dear friends. Okay. First is insurance agent providing service to insurance company. Insurance agent providing service to insurance company. Who will pay tax? Insurance company. Right? Because insurance agents are too many, insurance company is one. Insurance agents are too many and they are giving service to only one insurance company. Let's say LIC. Let's say Bajaj Allianz, let's say Bharti AXA Life Insurance. Got it? So 1 lakh insurance agents are selling policies for LIC. LIC is one, and LIC will be asked to pay tax as per RCM on all the commission that LIC pays to the insurance agents. Are you getting it? So who is required to register under GST law? LIC. And who is exempted from getting registered? the insurance agents, right? So you will ask only that person to register whom you want to collect tax from, and in this case it is recipient, in this case it is insurance company. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Okay. Second, the recovery agent providing service to bank or NBFC. Recovery agent providing service to bank or NBFC. Very simple. Okay. If the service is provided to bank or NBFC, RCM. But if the service is provided to a trader, manufacturer, right, or a service provider, let's say for example, HUL Limited recruits a recovery agent, recruits a Munna Bhai. So Munna Bhai is giving service to, okay, a manufacturer. Okay, is HUL a bank? No. Is it an NBFC? No. Will RCM apply? No, 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 because you are not adhering to the conditions of RCM, and hence RCM shall not apply. And what shall apply? FCM, and which is why it is the supplier, the recovery agent, who's supposed to pay tax. Is that very clear, my dear friends? So please check who is the recipient. Is it the NBFC or is it the bank? Is it the NBFC or is it the bank? Okay, if it's either of them, RCM. If it's neither of them, FCM. If it's either of them, RCM. If neither of them, FCM. FCM, FCM, अरे RCM, FCM. समझा आपको कब है कौन सा M? Are you getting it? Yes. Okay. Next, direct selling agent, my dear friends. Direct selling agent does very similar thing to what an insurance agent does. Insurance agent sells insurance policy. Direct selling agent sanctions loans on behalf of banks or NBFCs. And there are only three ways in which they function. So it can either be an individual. So direct selling agent, okay, like CS can only function in three ways, right? Either they are in only two ways. Either it can be a partnership firm or sole proprietary, right? Here, understand, there are three ways in which they can function. Either they can function in the way of individual, partnership firm, or body corporate. It can be either three of them. They cannot be an HUF or AOP or BOI or society. Kuch nahi. Only these three structures are allowed. Okay. So government always will have a thought process that if the supplier is individual, don't give compliance to that individual. Directly ask the recipient to pay taxes per RCM. And in this case, if supplier is an individual DSA agent, recipient is bank or NBFC, bank or NBFC will pay tax. But okay, if the supplier, that is the DSA, okay, my dear friends, it's a body corporate or a partnership firm. Body corporate or a partnership firm, the government already assumes that they are big enough. And which is why, my dear friends, in that case, understand one thing. Okay, since government assumes that they are big enough, very simple. Government said you only take the compliance, you will pay taxes per FC, right? So individual, small person, RCM. Body corporate, partnership firm, big person. You can do compliances. There are a lot of people. You will do the compliance, FCA. Is that very clear? Yes. Next, director providing service to body corporate. Simple. So there is one body corporate, let's say for example Infosys Limited, and there are 15 directors who are individual in nature. Obviously government will not bother those 15 individuals. Government will bother the body corporate and ask to pay taxes per RCM. Now why is it written non-executive? Because directors are of two types. One is executive, one is non-executive. One is executive, one is non-executive. Executive directors share a relationship of employer-employee, and which is why as per 7 subsection 2 it is not a supply, no GST, because their TDS is deducted under section 192 of Income Tax Act 1961. But my dear friends, in case of non-executive director, they do not share an employer-employee relationship. They actually act like a consultant. Like Manish Malhotra is a consultant on, let's say, Nykaa, right? Nykaa's board of directors, because he knows fashion, right? Then in that case he will just come, okay, once in 1 quarter he will come, advise, get lost after taking his sitting fees. Got it? Then they do not share employer-employee relationship. His TDS also is deducted under 194J of Income Tax Act, and which is why it is outside the purview of employer-employee relationship. So 7.2 के बाहर है, it is outside the ambit of 7.2, and which is why, my dear friends, In this case, it is a supply and it is subject to GST. But since suppliers are many, recipient is one. Suppliers are many, recipient is one. Recipient will pay tax as per RCM, body corporate. Recipient will pay the tax. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear? Is that very clear? Is that very clear? Yes, sir. Okay. Next is, my dear friends, sponsorship service. Next is, my dear friends, sponsorship service. Okay. Now, in this case, my dear friends, understand. Okay. Understand that in question only they will mention. In question only they will mention supplier is providing sponsorship service. Sponsorship service. You have to focus that only and only when both these words okay, only and only when both these words are seen in the question will you check if the recipient is body corporate or partnership firm. If yes, RCM. Because government thinks that if the recipient is a body corporate or a partnership firm, simple concept, they are okay. Definitely it's convenient for them and it's easier for them to do the compliance, not an issue. They are big enough that they can handle this compliance, that they can pay taxes per RCM. Is that very clear? Yes, but understand the nomenclature should be sponsorship service. Only then, the only thing that you will have to check, recipient is partnership firm or body corporate, yes, RCM. If no, FCM. Yes, RCM. No, FCM. But what if I tell you something like this pans out, where they tell you, okay, that let's say for example, X Limited has sponsored the event of Mr. Karan by giving him 10 lakhs. Achha, can anyone tell me here who is the supplier and who is the recipient? In this case, who is the supplier and who is the recipient? Tell me. Please tell me. Fattafat se tell me. Fattafat se. Come on, come on. Fast, fast, fast. Akila. MS. Smith. Come on. Avni. Come on, guys. Don't behave like dead people. Okay, I am giving you a hack. Understand one thing, my dear friends. Whenever you are facing such an issue, okay, just remember one thing. Ask yourself, who has paid the amount to whom? So it's clearly visible. X has paid that amount to Karan. So whenever someone pays something to someone, okay, that person is the recipient. Because someone has paid something to someone, he has actually received something in return. So here the recipient is X Limited and supplier is Mr. Karan. So it will be said that sponsorship service is given by K to X Limited. K to X Limited. Okay. And X Limited will pay taxes per RCM. So actually, okay, they are giving me advertisement service. Only then I must have, only then X Limited. Why would I have received 10 lakhs from X Limited? I have to give something in return, no? So I will, paste his boardings. I will do his advertisement. So in the name of advertisement, they are actually telling you that you are giving sponsorship service, right? So please understand one thing. When the word sponsored is used, you will first have to determine who has given sponsorship service to whom. And here majority of the people, what do they do? Okay, X Limited sponsored, okay, X supplier, A recipient. No! Understand, X has paid money to Karan. The person who pays the money is the recipient, right? So they have done this confusion, but you have to remember this. Got it? So when the word sponsored is used, you have to go a step ahead in determining who is the supplier, who is the recipient. Recipient who has paid that amount. Supplier, eventually obviously the remaining person. But had it been that the same case, it would have been something like this, where they would have directly told X Limited has given sponsorship service to Mr. Karan. If the question would have been X Limited, okay, has given sponsorship service to Mr. Karan, then in that case the situation would have been completely different. Supplier would have been X and recipient would have been Mr. Karan. And since the recipient is neither a body corporate nor a partnership firm, RCM shall not apply and FCM shall apply. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear, my dear friends? So please understand, okay, what the nomenclature is used, and the reason I'm emphasizing you on this is because there is a question in your module, especially with respect to this context, right? So mark this very, very, very important, my dear friends, okay, and understand that you take note of these nitty-gritties, that when the word use sponsored is done, you have to first figure out who is the supplier, who is the recipient. But if the word sponsorship service is used, then in that case the stage is set. All you have to check is recipient is body corporate or partnership firm. If yes, then RCM. If no, then FCM. Is that very clear, MS? Akila, Sorin, Ria, Murari, everyone, Avni, Smith, are you able to understand? Are you able to comprehend? Yeah, absolutely correct, Avni. There is a concept of Shahid. You get that, buddy. You get that. Give me a high five. Give me a high five, guys. If you got to, if you understood the concept, give me a high five. Okay. Nonetheless, fatafat's. Next is, my dear friends, with respect to, okay, the first I will just knock off the easier ones. Overseeing committee. Okay. So when I basically talk about overseeing committee, my dear friends, these are few individuals. Let's say there are 5-6 individuals who consult RBI, especially in those matters where banks have lent a lot of money. Banks have lent a lot of money to a lot of these big corporates who have defaulted. So it will basically consult, these overseeing committee members will consult RBI on debt restructuring matters. These are like 5-6 individuals, okay, and obviously if they are individuals, government will say in this case there is no point giving compliance to them. RBI will only pay tax as per RCM. Got it? Yes. Okay. Also I would like to add that when it comes to RBI, services provided by RBI, okay, and services provided to RBI. This is by RBI, this is to RBI. Both are, by the way, taxable. Okay. And FCM, there is no RCM in this. RCM will only come when there is what? Overseeing committee providing service to RBI. Okay. That's it. Okay, the reason I mentioned here is because initially services provided by RBI was exempt, but now if supplier is RBI, recipient is RBI, does not matter, it is taxable. But when it comes to overseeing committee, it is taxable as per RCM. So just wanted to give you a heads up. I will also take you through it again when we do exemptions. I will bring this point of overseeing committee again and I'll bloody make you write there so that you all remember it for the rest of your life, that what will happen in this case. Okay, fantastic. Okay, Next is lender providing service, security lending service to borrower, right? So basically, in case if you want to do short selling, I'm sure since you all are already aware about SFM, you know what short selling is. Short selling is very simple. So if I think that Adani, okay, understand, I already have the Hindenburg report. I know that Adani Enterprises is going from 100 to 500, like in 2 days. So what will I do? I will short sell. I will sell the stock and buy it later. To sell the stock, I should have stock. To have the stock, I will contact the exchange, borrow it from someone who already has it as a long-term investment. Okay, so very simple. I will borrow that stock and in return, I will pay lending fees. So the lender will get the lending fees. I will borrow the stock. It is in my demat account. I will sell it off and I will buy it at a lower cost and return it back, right? In that case, my dear friends, it is the borrower who will pay tax as per RCM. Okay, and on which amount? Obviously on the amount on which, okay, simple, lending fees is given to the lender. Is that very clear? Yes. Okay. Next is, my dear friends, CGST UTLA providing renting of immovable property service to registered person, RCM. If the recipient is not registered, okay, if you want, you can just write it down, right? In case, right? If the recipient is not registered, let's say CGST UTLA, servicing provided to unregistered person in and giving with service renting of immovable property service. Okay, then in that case, obviously RCM shall not apply. Supplier will have to pay tax as per FCA. Gotcha. Okay, next, my dear friends, is with respect to BF and BC. BF is business facilitator, BC is business correspondent. Okay, the way you remember here is, this is a junior, this is a senior, this is junior, this is senior. Why junior, senior? Because this person, okay, is recruited only to spread awareness, that, you know, so basically a mandate was given to the banks that, listen, you need to open these many accounts, because there is a Yojana called as Jan Dhan Yojana, where India wants to make a record that within a year we have opened so many bank accounts of so many individuals in the banks. So many people have come into financial inclusion. Now they are no more storing the money, saving the money in their almari. They are, you know, actually keeping it in the banks. Now the job is more or less similar of BC and BF, but there is one thing that makes hell lot of a difference. BF will check the credit worthiness, make a report and send it to the bank saying that these are the people I think you should give credit to. If it's suitable according to you, you give them loan. But when it comes to BC, he checks the credit worthiness and he only sanctions the loan. The ticket size is small, from 50,000 to 1 lakh, but he has the authority to sanction the loan. BF only makes report and then it is the bank who decides to sanction the loan or not, right? So BF is junior, BC is senior, right? And always remember, junior never does any work. Okay, it's the senior who does all the work. So always remember, agent and BF. Will BF do any work? No. Agent will pay tax. BF and bank, again, will BF do any work? No. Bank will pay tax. So your agent will pay as per FCM and your bank will pay as per RCM. Gotcha? Yes. Second, agent, BC, bank. Okay, BC is senior and senior takes all the responsibility in the organization. So agent BC, who will pay tax? BC as per RCM. And BC to bank, who will pay tax? BC, FCM. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Is that very clear, my dear friends? Which one, Avni? Which one did you not get? Okay, Rajvi, MS, Murari, Sorin, I will able to get what I'm saying. Rajvi. Avni, एक बार वापस देख लेना ना वीडियो वापस, ठीक है? फिर भी नहीं समझा तो मुझे DM कर, मैं तुझे समझा दूंगा. Just go through it again. Trust me, you will get it. Trust me. Okay. because I've categorically stated the example. So that will just help you clear it even more. Okay, fantastic. Done. Okay, that goes here. Very simple. Okay, now we have GTA service, we have security service, we have renting service as one of the most important ones. Okay, but before that also I would like to take you through the amendment. Okay, before that I would like you to take you through the amendment 15th wala aa jao. And then I will take you to those three services, because those three services are more or less very interrelated: security, GT, and renting. Right? These are the big services where generally people, make a mistake. Right? Fair enough. 15th wala kar lete hain फटाफट से. Come on. Okay, so friends, if a landlord is giving renting of residential dwelling for residential use, so he is basically renting out a home which is used as a home only, right? In this case, if the recipient is registered, RC. So for example, let's say you are working with Deloitte, right? But you are living in Mumbai, but you were asked to come to Delhi, right? The entire accommodation is whose expense? Deloitte's. Now understand, the landlord has made an agreement in the name of Deloitte, not you, Deloitte. But Deloitte is an artificial person. Deloitte cannot stay. The employees of Deloitte will stay, and you are that employee who will stay. So who is paying rent here? Registered person. Is that registered person an individual? No. It is a bloody company or a partnership firm or LLP, whatever the case may be. So registered person, what I mean is those big corporates. Got it? Who basically are taking huge properties on rent so that their employees can stay. And in such cases, the tax will be payable as per RC. I'll tell you why. There is a solid reason behind it, because understand that these residential premises can be of a lot of like old age people or housewife, someone like that. So it'll be basically of some individual. So government again did not want to put the compliance on the landlord, and government said if recipient is a registered person, I want it as per RCM. Very simple, right? So registered recipient will pay tax as per RCM. But understand, if the same registered recipient is an individual person, let's say for example, I am a chartered accountant and I am a practicing chartered accountant. I am a professional, and I easily the gross receipts of my practice go more than 20 lakhs. Let's say it's 2 crores. So I am a registered person. Yes. I am living in a rented home. Yes. Now I am an individual, understand, and I can be, I am a CA in that case. For example, what if I am an architect, engineer, MBA, actuary, dancer, singer, anyone, yeah. Do you understand that every month I will have to pay tax as per RCM? And that is such a fuss for someone like me who is an individual. So government said that okay, if you are a registered person, but if you are an individual and you are using this for personal use, commercial nahi, personal use, you are staying that, you are using it as a home, then it is exempt, because government does not want to harass an registered individual. Registered person can be anyone. Registered person is what? The definition is directly taken from whom, adapted from whom? Income Tax Act. Now if that person is individual, exempt. If that registered person is, let's say, L&T, Reliance, is it individual? No, it's a company, RCM. So you focus that who is the registered person. Individual, personal use, exempt. Big corporates, RCM. But what if the recipient is himself or herself what? Unregistered. Very simple. In that case, it is again exempt. Government only wants to harass those big corporates who take these big flats on rent. There they wanted to clearly trigger RCM. Got it? Yes. Okay. So if above service is supplied to registered person who's individual using it for personal use, exempt. Recipient is unregistered, exempt. This is a major amendment. Avni, this is a major amendment. You will not see this in our books. Okay? Fantastic. Okay, acha. Also, if you remember CGST, UTALA, in that case, if the recipient is business or courts and tribunals. So if courts and tribunals are giving service to, let's say, telecommunication company, why? Because they've installed their big towers on the court or tribunal's terrace. Or let's say, for example, if there is a bank and they've installed some ATM machines there and they are giving rent to courts and tribunal, again RCM. Is that very clear? Again, this is also an amendment. Okay, perfect. Now I'm coming to the big three: security service, GTA service, and the last is renting of motor vehicle. Correct? Yes. Okay. Okay guys, then I'm talking about security service. Understand, with security service am I talking about? This is basically security service, my dear friends, which is in relation to supplying body personnel. Okay, supplying body personnels. Are you getting it? Yes. Okay, in that case, my dear friends, please understand one thing, and that is, if supplier, for example, my dear friends, is any person other than body corporate, recipient is registered person, RCM shall apply. Supplier other than body corporate, why? Because government assumes that if the supplier himself is a body corporate, it's a company and company can easily do the compliance. So no RCM, FCM, supplier, yani ki body corporate will only pay the tax. So government said any person other than body corporate, doesn't matter. If recipient is a registered person, RCM, simple. But there is an exception. In fact, there are two. If your registered person is a compo taxpayer, right? Do you realize why do people take composition scheme? Because they do want to do lesser compliances than the normal taxpayer. तो जो monthly है वो quarterly tax payment हो जाता है. Like जो monthly returns है वो क्या है, annual हो जाता है. Right? He hardly has to maintain any books of accounts. Right? There are no absolutely fuss about classification. Right? He will never have to think 5%, 12, 18, 20 and nothing doing. Seedha everything 1%. Considering he is manufacturer and trader. And if he's a service provider, considering it is 6%. So there is no confusion in his life. Clarity, full clarity. Outward supply 1%, that too I have to pay from my own pocket. I cannot collect from the recipient and there is no question of ITC. So compo taxpayer hardly has to do compliance. Very simple computation, quarterly tax payment, annually returns, no magajmari, no tension, relaxed life. Do you really want to now give the compliance of RCM to that person and ruin his life? No, you don't want to. Which is why government says that if the registered person happens to be a compo taxpayer, let him live. No RCM. No RCM. Right? Absolutely no RCM. Right? In that case, supplier will pay tax. And if the second person happens to be a a TDS deductor under section 51. So understand, this is the TDS that you need to deduct at the rate 2% under section 51 of CGST Act. Correct? Now this person is solely registered to deduct TDS. This person is solely registered to deduct TDS. So his only job is, as soon as he makes payment to the supplier, TDS he has to cut, pay, cut, pay, cut, pay, cut, pay, cut, pay, cut, pay. Are you getting it? Yes. His only objective in life is to deduct TDS and pay. Deduct TDS and pay. There is no concept of output tax, ITC, and by the way, he has not even exceeded 20 lakhs. The only reason he is registered because he has to deduct TDS because his name has entered under section 51. Where if you remember, there are these government agencies, CGST, UTLA, government authority, government agencies, okay, PSUs, they are all mentioned there. So if your name is mentioned there, you take registration. Why do you take registration? To deduct TDS and to pay TDS. Because if you have deducted, you have to pay, and to pay, you have to log in, you have to take a registration number. So if his job is only to deduct TDS and pay, why will you again burden him with RCM? You will not. You will clearly not. So RCM again will not apply here. In this case also, FCM. So please understand, if recipient is registered, RCM, but if recipient is a registered person who is a compo taxpayer and a TDS deductor, RCM shall not apply. RCM shall not apply. RCM shall not apply. What will apply? FCM. You will not burden them with this compliance because they are too minute, fragile, small, shallow to take this burden. Are you getting it? They will not be able to do it. In Hindi it is said, तुमसे ना हो पाएगा, तुमसे ना हो पाएगा. You getting it, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Okay, perfect. So tell me one thing. If let's say Mr. Tiger is giving service to, let's say, Mr. Salman, who is a registered person, normal taxpayer, who will pay tax? फटाफट से बोल दो. Who will pay tax? टाइगर और मिस्टर सलमान? राजवी, अवनी, बोलो यार. स्मिथ. Who will pay tax? Mr. S. Correct. Okay. For example, if I say Mr. S is a registered person but a compo taxpayer, so who will pay tax? Recipient? No. Tiger will pay. What if I say Mr. S is an unregistered person, who will pay tax? Will it be the recipient? Again, no. Again, Mr. Tiger will pay tax. Right? But what if I say Tiger Limited is giving service? And I'm not even mentioning you the recipient's name. Again, Tiger Limited will pay tax because here, okay, it said any person other than body corporate. Is that very clear? Is that very clear, guys? Yes, sir. Okay. Perfect. Sorry. Panchamuthu, are you listening me? Panchamuthu, Mr. S, Panchamuthu, MS, Rajvi, Akila, Rajvi, Ria, Murari, Sorin, I all there. Please give me a thumbs up. Yes, sir. Okay, next we target GTA. GTA, what is GTA? What is the full form of GTA, guys? Come on, tell me, what is the full form of GTA? Come on, friends. Come on, come on, come on, come on, friends. Tell me, arre tell me, friends, come on, tell me. Absolutely correct. Goods Transport Agency. Okay, now listen. Supplier is a GTA who basically helps you transport goods from one place to another. Okay, now the recipient. Now understand very clearly why it is very important for you to define recipient. For example, if I am the GTA and let's say Sorin tells me to transport goods to, let's say for example, अपना कौन है दोस्त, Panchamuth. Sorin is asking me to send goods to Panchamuth. Okay, from Mumbai to, let's say, Tamil Nadu, Chennai. And I am the GT, I am supposed to do that. So for me, understand, I am giving transportation of goods service, yes. Who is the recipient in this case? Who is the recipient in this case? Is it Panchamuthu or is it Sorin? Answer is very simple, both. But I cannot ask both of them to pay taxes per RCM. I cannot say, Acha, you pay CGST, you pay SGST. No, I will have to choose one. The tiebreaker question is, who is liable to pay the freight? Who is liable to pay the freight? So let's say if Sorin pays the freight, Sorin is my recipient. If let's say Panchamuthu pays the freight, Panchamuthu is my recipient. Are you getting it, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Okay. So person who is liable to pay the freight is clearly the person, okay, my dear friends, who is the recipient. Okay. Next, GTA. So GTA के case में, my dear friends, understand, okay, we are not taking any era gera nathu gera GTA. We are taking that GTA who's basically transporting goods via road and issues consignment note. Who's transporting goods via road and issuing consignment note. Right? Consignment note, my dear friends, is very simple. It basically is a note that the GTA will issue to the consignor. Consignee nahi, consignor, from whom he has to. So person who's basically sending goods, right? The reason he will give it to the consignor, because in this he communicates to the consignor that, listen, in transit I am having the possession of goods, so anything that happens to the goods I am responsible for it and I will reimburse you for the same, don't you worry. So ऐसे responsible GTA की बात कर रहे हैं हम लोग. Are you getting it? Yes. Okay, now listen. There is 5%, there is 12%, there is 5%, there is 12%. When it comes to 5%, my dear friends, concept is very simple. GTA is providing service to registered recipient. Okay, so now focus. Recipient will be registered in one case, recipient will be unregistered in one case, right? So coming back to the concept, let's say for example, there is GTA, correct? There is GTA. Now recipient is who? Let's say registered person. Simple. GTA takes GST at the rate 5%. In this case, hands down, eyes down, very simple, RCM. Okay, and understand the method in which I am trying to help you recollect, remember in that way only. Okay, registered person, RCM, simple. Okay, now the thing is, what if this registered person is basically a TDS deductor? Under section 51, solely a TDS deductor, solely word is very important, both in security and in this, solely TDS deductor. Simple. In that case, RCM will not apply, because we cannot ask the TDS deductor to again register and pay taxes per RCM. No, we cannot ask him. We cannot ask him to do so many compliances. So in that case, RCM तो नहीं होगा. अच्छा, will GTA pay tax? No. Okay, in case of GTA will only pay tax as per FCM when he charges GST at the rate 12%. ठीक है? That's it. Okay. So clearly, GST is at the rate 5%. Recipient is registered. If recipient is a TDS deductor, solely a TDS deductor, RCM will not apply. Will FCM apply? No. Why will FCM not apply? Because is the GST at the rate 5%, 12%? No, it is still at 5. So government said that we won't give the compliance to the recipient. We won't give the compliance to the recipient because the recipient is a TDS deductor. We can't burden them with that. We can't give it to the supplier because the rate is 5%. And GTA will only pay tax as per FCM when there is 12%. So only one way can be taken out of this, and that is you will in this case exempt the service. You will in this case exempt the service. Are you getting it? Yes. Okay. So when GTA is providing service to a recipient who is registered but who is registered solely on account of TDS deductor, then in that case no RCM, no FCM, it will be exempt. Okay, perfect. Next, what if the recipient is an unregistered person? In that case, it depends. Are you a factory, society, cooperative society, body corporate, who are registered under their respective laws? Respective laws as in factory under Factories Act, society under Society Act, cooperative society under Cooperative Society, body corporate under Companies Act. Are you registered under your respective act, under your personal act? Yes. Then in that case, even though you are unregistered under GST law, you goddamn will have to first get registered compulsorily under section 24 and then pay taxes per RCM. Gotcha? Yes. And when it comes to partnership firm, government said you are registered or not registered under your respective law. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You are still a specified person, and in that case, the first thing that you will do is what? The first thing you will do is you will compulsorily register under section 24 and then pay taxes per RCM. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes, sir. Okay, done. Okay, but my dear friends, what if the same person is an unregistered individual, HUF या फिर casual taxable person? In that case, government says you are too small to do any compliance, and which is why this is exempt. And when it is exempt, neither the supplier, neither the recipient, no one pays the tax. Is that very clear? Yes, sir. Okay. But when it comes to GTA, who opts for GST at the rate 12%, so here he can charge output tax. Since he can charge output tax as is FCM, he can also take input service, capital goods ka ITC, right? But when a GTA takes GST at the rate 5%, can he charge GST? No. Why? Because it's the recipient who is going to pay tax. Here he can charge GST, he can charge output tax, and hence he gets ITC. But here he cannot charge GST, and which is why he will also never get ITC. Okay, some things are just understood since you are a CFNL student, but still I will explain you the way you want it to be. Got it? Yes. To sum up, my dear friends, the entire GTA service, okay, 5%, 12%. 5% if the recipient is unregistered. If the recipient is registered, registered recipient will pay tax. But if that registered person is a registered person who was solely registered on account of deducting TDS under section 51, exempt. 5%. Recipient is unregistered, factory, society, cooperative society, body corporate, registered under respective law, and partnership firm, doesn't matter registered or not registered. But understand, one thing is common between all of them, that they are unregistered under GST law. Section 24 will trigger compulsory registration, RCM 93, tax will be paid. Very simple. Okay. But if recipient is unregistered individual, HUF, ACTP, exempt, right? And the last, if GST is at the rate 12%, then GTA will actually charge GST to someone that to a rate as high as 12%, and which is why he can also take ITCA fee of a lot of things. All the things. Got it? Yes. And in this case, what happened is here, there came an amendment. So because of this lack of amendment, what happened is, okay, GTA used to do things as per his whims and fancies. So let's say if there are 3 recipients, okay, to some he will say, okay, I have opted 5%, to some he will say 12, to some he will say 5. Randomly he will just say anything and the opposite person will have to believe it. That's how things were actually functioning, right? That with every person he had different transactions, right? But after the amendment, right, he cannot do that, because he will now have to, if he wants to opt for 12%, he will have to seek permission from the jurisdictional commissioner. He have to register himself, and he has to write a request to the jurisdictional commissioner that I want to pay taxes per FCM, and that will be valid for 1 year, where he will only pay tax now as per FCM. Now he cannot say to someone that, okay, this is FCM, this is RCM. Once he wants to take as per FCM, he will have to write a request. That request will be granted, and from that onwards, at least for 1 year, he will have to keep on paying taxes per FCM. He cannot say that acha tere liye RCM, tere liye FCM. No. Once opted, it for 1 year only FCM. So that clarity now exists, which initially was missing. Okay, so that is the only thing that is amended. If you can check, supplier has taken registration in the CGST Act and has exercised the option to pay taxes in the FCM. He issues tax invoice to the recipient charging CGST at applicable rates. CGST as in both CGST and SGST, because in SGST SGST will be written. Simple? Are simple? Correct? Yes. So this line has been added, which was missing before. So this is the amendment. Nothing major, very simple. Initially it was able to do whatever it wants to do, but now once you have taken the permission, you have registered yourself, for continuously 1 year you will pay taxes per FC. Is that very clear? Yes sir. Is that very clear? Yes sir. Is that very clear? Yes sir. Okay. ठीक है. Show me a thumbs up. Show me a thumbs up, guys. Sorin, Pramathu, MS, Ria, Rajvi, Murari. Come on. Show me a hand. Show me a hand. Show me a hand. Come on. Avni, Smith. Are you able to understand? Okay, lovely. Okay. And the last most important thing, my dear friends, is renting of motor vehicle service for transportation of passengers. So mind you, it is transportation of passenger and not transportation of goods that we are talking about. It is transportation of passenger and not transportation of goods that we are talking about. Please make sure that you all have understood what I am trying to explain. Okay. Now this is the focus. Now understand one thing. Again, just like GTA, here there are two situations: 5%, 12%. Acha, in GTA 5% mein there is only two outcome. Either it's RCM or either it is exempt. And 12%, either it is FCM or either it is exempt. Sir, when will it be exempt? Simple. Whichever cases are exempted here will be exempted here also. Okay, so even in 12%, if the recipient is unregistered individual HUF CTP, If the recipient is, let's say for example, TDS deductor, exempt. Simple. Even though it is 12%, right? Yes. But when it comes to renting service, renting of motor vehicle, then in that case, understand one thing. There is 5% yes, there is 12% yes. Now here the case is, if you satisfy the condition, RCM. If you don't, FCM. And here only and only FCM. Okay, now listen very clearly. When it comes to 5%, very simple. Supplier has to be any person other than body corporate. Right? Any person other than body corporate. Where else did we see this? Security service. Where else did we see this? Security service. Acha, DSA maybe it is any person other than body corporate or partnership firm. Body corporate or partnership firm. Okay. Just helping you remind things, revise things. Okay. Correct. So supplier is any person other than body corporate. Correct. Recipient is body corporate. Recipient is body corporate. In security service, recipient is registered person. Okay. And I'll tell you how will it be easier for you to remember registered person, because the exceptions are also of the registered person. That registered person hai, but if that registered person is compo, TDS, no RCM, FCM. So remember it that way. Compo and TDS deductor cannot be exception of body corporate. It will be exception of registered person. Gotcha? Yes. But here recipient has to be a body corporate, right? And here if GST is at the rate 5% and the consideration that you have charged includes cost of fuel, then in that case definitely RCM will apply. Okay, in that case RCM will apply. Is that very clear, my dear friends? Yes sir. Okay, so close your eyes and say it with me. Supplier other than body corporate, recipient body corporate. Supplier other than body corporate, recipient body corporate, and consideration includes cost of fuel. Consideration includes cost of fuel. And GST is at the rate 5%. In that case, RCM will apply. But if either one of the condition is not satisfied, for example, let's say supplier is a body corporate, recipient is also body corporate. So which is the condition that is contravened? Supplier's. Supplier should have been any person other than body corporate, but it is body corporate, and which is why in this case RCM will not apply. FCM will apply. Sir, FCM apply, that means supplier will pay tax to government? Yes sir. So sir, supplier will shift the burden of GST to recipient? Yes sir. So will supplier charge GST to recipient? Yes sir. And whenever you see that a supplier can charge GST to recipient, understand one thing, in that case definitely, okay, definitely, let's say, then in that case supplier will definitely ask, then what is the status of ITC? What is the status of ITC? Tell me, what is the status of ITC? Tell me, my dear friends, tell me, sanga mala sang. Government shall listen, nothing doing. Supplier is charging GST at 5%. Supplier is charging GST at 5%. It's too small a rate. The recovery is at 5%. And the ITC is at 1828. Big rate. So your input tax rate is higher than output tax rate. In that case, I will not allow you any ITC. Simple. No ITC. So what will the supplier do here? Collect tax, pay tax. Collect tax, pay tax. Collect tax, pay tax. Collect tax, pay tax. Collect pay. He will not keep any amount with himself because there is no ITC allowed. Except for one. When he is himself taking renting of motor vehicle service. So if this supplier who's charging GST at the rate 5% by the way of giving renting service of motor vehicle, is also taking input service of renting of motor vehicle, then in that case यहाँ पे ITC मिल जाए. You will get the ITC here, my defense. You will get the ITC. Got it? But only in this case. Only in this case. So for example, this supplier is taking, let's say, repairs and maintenance service. He's buying some spare parts. He's buying some compressor, AC, headlight, tube light, okay, sunroof. No ITC. No, 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 no. Only one ITC, renting wala. Got it? Yes. Okay. Because what is the logic behind this? Because the GST charge here is too small. Very simple. Got it? Next. Next is very simple. Let's say, for example, if the same guy who is giving renting of motor vehicle service charges GST at the rate 12%, then tax is payable as per FCM again. So supplier will pay the tax to government. Whenever supplier pays tax to government, very simple, he will ask for ITC. And here he will get all the ITC in the world of input, input service and capital goods. Everything. Everything. Every goddamn thing. He will get ITC of every goddamn thing. Okay, because the rate at which you are charging GST is big enough. It's crazy. It's like 12%. Are you getting it, guys? Yes. And which is why. Understand? You will get ITC of everything. Got it? Yes. Okay. That's it. So in my question bank that I will be giving you, you also have questions regarding to this. So that will really help you. Okay. Okay. Yes. And by the way, in 12%, there are no conditions. Supplier can be anyone, recipient can be anyone. I don't give a damn. If he has opted for 12, supplier will pay the tax and he will get all the ITC in the world. Simple. The conditions are only with respect to 5%. Supplier, any person other than body corporate, recipient body corporate, RCM. And that's it. Got it? So here we complete this service. Okay. I hope you all understand the diagram. Right? The reason I've written body corporate to body corporate is because here clearly I'm not satisfying the condition above. So it can be anything. It can be any, it's just one of the example. It can be something like that here it's individual and here also it's individual. So here I'm not satisfying the condition by making the recipient individual instead of body corporate. So that's how it is. Okay. ITC not allowed except this one. And here ITC is allowed of everything because he is charging GST at 12%. Okay. Done. Okay. Hands up, guys. I will able to gauge it. Give me a hands up. फटाफट से हाथ ऊपर करो यार. अवनी स्मिथ, क्या चल रहा है भाई? अवनी समझाई छे बेटा. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, when it comes to frankly author publisher, the concept is very simple. There is one publisher but there are many authors with him. There is one music composer but a lot of music composers. Producer is one, artist and photographers are many. They surrender their copyright under the Copyright Act 1957, 13(1)(a) 1957. In that case, recipient will pay taxes per RCM, but it is only with respect to author. Okay, if he chooses to pay taxes per FCM, he will have to get himself registered under the CGST Act. He will have to write a written permission to the jurisdictional commissioner asking, I want to pay taxes per FCM. And once he takes the permission, bang on, simple, he will have to exercise the option of FCM for 1 long year. For 1 long year. Are you getting it, my dear friends? Yes, sir. That's it. ठीक है. Next my dear friends is very simple. Is there remaining? तो ये simple है, ये देख लो. लैंड ओनर अगर क्या है, प्रमोटर को क्या है. If the landowner is actually transferring either development rights or giving the land on long-term lease for more than 30 years, it is the promoter who will pay taxes per RCM. Promoter word is used because this is the nomenclature that is used for builder in RERA Act. So basically this promoter is nothing but builder, and builder has to do compliances of everything and anything in the world, and which is why it is the builder who will pay taxes per RCM. Okay. And in subsection 5 subsection 3 IGST Act, there is one classic case where if the person is in non-taxable territory, that is outside India, and recipient is in taxable territory, that is person is in India, other than a non-taxable online recipient. This is a phrase that I will help you explain when we do section 14 of IGST Act, right? In this case there will be RCM. Very simple. Okay, that's it. Okay, यहाँ पे लिख देना, लिखा नहीं है मैंने. GST RCM, recipient will pay tax. Okay, supplier, because understand there is import of service here. I cannot go to the supplier who is outside India, UK, US, Antarctica, Mars. I don't know where he is. I cannot go and catch hold of him, but I can definitely catch hold of someone who is in India, right? Because I have the jurisdiction of that. So I will catch hold of him, and which is why it is RCM. But just make sure that person is a non-taxable online recipient, right? That's it. Okay. So here, my dear friends, we finally take care of reverse charge mechanism. Are you all able to understand? Was I clear? Was I loud enough? Did this make sense? Avni, unmute yourself and tell me.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to understand? Was the speed correct?
Yes, sir. That's perfect.
Perfect था, याद रहेगा एकदम.
हाँ सर, रहेगा.
ओके, एंड स्मिथ?
यस सर, एकदम परफेक्ट.
फटाफट से तुम लोग प्लीज क्या है, मेक श्योर करना दैट यू ऑल्सो डू द Q&A पार्ट ऑफ इट. ओके, सो जस्ट स्मॉल Q&A दैट आई रियली वांट यू ऑल टू सॉल्व, एंड दिस इज विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दिस. आ जाओ फटाफट से. दिस इज अ November 20 क्वेश्चन. लेट्स गो अहेड एंड सॉल्व इट. लेट्स सी हाउ मच डू यू ऑल recollect. Come on guys, come on MS, come on Prachamuthu, Sorin, Akila, Rajvi, let's do it. Measures all in one, a partnership firm. So understand, supplier is a partnership firm. Okay, supplier is a partnership firm. Okay, remember this, right? And it's a registered person and it has provided services. So let's see what is that. And there is some information given here that for all the services GST rate is 9%, that is 18%, but in case of renting of vehicle service it is 2.5%. so renting का rate है 5%. ठीक है, चलो फटाफट से आ जाओ. Go ahead, Avni, you go first. Supplier is supplier is a partnership firm giving direct selling agent service to Y bank. Who will pay tax?
Agent.
Yes, why?
Because it's a partnership form.
Yes, and only when it is an individual will it go as per RCM. Do you remember that? Do you remember that explanation? Okay, Smith, go ahead. Okay, go ahead and tell me the next. So here, my dear friends, okay, in the first case, It is all in one who will pay the tax. Second, Smith, come on.
Sir, it would be ABC Limited.
Who will pay tax?
ABC Limited.
Yes, ABC, because your supplier is other than body corporate partnership firm, recipient is a registered person, RCM. Okay, it's the ABC Limited who will pay tax. Third, come on. I want MS to answer. MS, are you there? Sorry, are you there? There are 11 people out here. Come on. I just want one of them you all to answer that if supplier is a partnership firm providing security service to PSR Trust, who is an unregistered person, क्या होगा? RCM या FCM, guys? Come on, come on, come on, come on. Pracha Muthu, Akila, Rajvi, SS, Ria, Rajvi, come on. Sorin, MS, come on. Yes, absolutely correct. Because recipient is unregistered person, so we cannot ask the unregistered person to do anything, and which is why FCM. Fantastic. Again, next. Sorin, बता फटाफट से, तू ही बता next क्या आएगा? Fourth क्या आएगा? What will fourth come? Supplier is a partnership firm giving renting of motor vehicle service to a recipient, which is Amer Tours, which is a body corporate. Okay, what will happen in that case? And it includes cost of fuel. And GST rate is 5%, by the way. What will happen? Come on, guys, answer. There are 12 people out there. Please answer. That's absolutely correct. It will be RCM. Because supplier is other than body corporate, recipient is a body corporate. Renting of motor vehicle service, cost includes cost of fuel, RCM. Okay, fifth wala. Manish Saini, आप हो तो बताओ ना यार. Manish, come on, go ahead and tell me the fifth. Recipient is a partnership firm, by the way. It's a CA firm. Manish! It will be FCM. Why? Because recipient is not a body corporate. Recipient is a partnership firm, and what we want is a body corporate. So we are looking out for body corporate, yes, but the CA firm is not a body corporate, it's a partnership firm. RCM will not apply, FCM will apply. Okay, and the last is legal service, which we are yet to do, which we will do when we go on to legal services, which I will do in exemptions. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so this is a beautiful question, always a benchmark question for me. Okay, and that's it. Okay, I feel this is good revision of everything. Okay, so we are done with RCM today, and tomorrow, okay, tomorrow, tell me, what do you want me to take? So one thing is definitely for sure, tomorrow we are taking supply and compo scheme. We are taking both of them. Okay, yes, we are taking supply and compo scheme. So दोनों revise हो जाएगा, and if at this pace, okay, where we are at least doing two chapters every day, trust me, we are doing this really fast. We will mostly complete GST, my dear friends, by the end of August. Trust me, and that's a very big win. Okay, by 31st of August, if we are able to wrap up GST, it's fantastic. Okay, we will be wrapping up customs then in just a matter of 5 days. Got it? Yes, sorry, there will be lectures on weekends as well, right? And maybe there will be lectures for extended number of hours, right? Let's see. Right now my only mood is okay, by 2.5 hours ke lectures, but if it requires more, we will give it more. Got it? Because our objective is to quickly wrap up GST and make sure that we hop on to customs, and पूरा ऐसा हो जाना चाहिए that GST बाप हो जाए. And also understand one thing, once we are done with, so the entire GST that you are looking at here, okay, so it's of 28 chapters, right? So we are dividing it for, like, understand, six chapters. So after every 6 chapters we will have Viva session. It will be on a Zoom session. It will not be YouTube live. It will be a Zoom session. Okay, so introduction, charging section, reverse charge, supply, compo scheme, okay, tax invoice, and we will also take time of supply in this case, right? We are done with these 7 chapters. We will specifically have a 1 hour Viva session where I will ask you things. Revisit करो आप लोग and I will ask you things. And if you are able to, give out answers in that Viva session, trust me, you are getting 75. Trust me on that, because your provisions are damn clear. And your provisions are damn clear. MCQ ho, 10 marker ho, 16 marker ho, any question you will be able to solve. Just be prepared for that Vivas, because in that I will actually come up with questions that are asked in ICA. I will either put a situation in front of you or a question of past paper in front of you. So this is our objective. 7 chapters, Viva. 7 chapters, Viva. Right? And it will be an amazing combination, and we will get the confidence by the end that exemption आएगा was 75 आएगा. Are you all with me, guys? Are you all with me on this? Smith, Avni, Sorin, Manish, MS. Are you all willing to put in that effort? Guys. Okay. Make sure that you also communicate the same in your WhatsApp groups where you have your friends, that what kind of initiative is being taken. Got it? Got it, Smith? Got it, Avni? Fantastic. ठीक है? That's it. I hope this initiative helps. All the very best, and I see you tomorrow, same at 6:30. Supply and composition scheme. Let's hear it. And also, guys, please comment on the lecture below. It means the world to me. A lot of CA final aspirants will be able to, get through this. YouTube will recommend it to a lot of CA aspirant. It means the world to me. Okay, हाथ जोड़ के मैं क्या आपको प्रार्थना करता हूँ. This is the least you can give me as a Guru Dakshina. Sorin, MS, Prachamuthu, Manish, please comment. Rajvi, please comment. Please comment, guys.